or an intervention in an economic development program. And in this episode, what I thought I would describe as the steps that we need to go through to do the skill element of the will and skill framework. The departing point, though, is to be clear that the will and skill framework is not a tick box exercise. It's a process. It's a process that we have to go through before we start engaging the private sector partner, during engagement with the private sector partner, and there's some post-engagement element to the will and skill framework. So it's not a tick box exercise at the beginning of the engagement. But what I thought I'll do is to discuss the steps that I think we should do when we're doing the skill element of the will and skill. The very first is to list out all of the skills that we believe it's required or needed for the intervention to work. So we have an intervention, an idea of an intervention, or at least we have an area that we're supposed to be intervening in. We should have an idea of the set of skills that we need: technical skills, financial skills, other resources like equipment, positioning, and all of those other things that relates to your intervention. So we should have a list of those things. And the next step is to rank the list, is to say which is more important and which is less important. And when we're doing the ranking, what we ought to bear in mind is the financial, time, and other resources cost for each of those capabilities or skills that we have listed. The reason is we do not have unlimited resources to support the partner, and the partner itself doesn't have unlimited resources. So this needs to be borne in mind when we're ranking or putting or assigning weight to the list. The third element is to create the matrix for each of the partners. We should have at least 3 partners that we're considering, or at least we should have whittled down the list to 3. And we create this matrix for each of these partners to identify the most promising of the partner. And the next thing is to then really identify the partner with the most, that is most promising. Now, identifying this means that not all of them will have the same level of promise, and more importantly, not all of them will have all of the skills that will rank highly. So we then have to decide at this point which one of the partner have the most important part of the scale, and which partner can we support, right, to enhance the skills that they don't have. Now, that decision is then dependent on the level of resources that we have and the technical capacity that we have as an economic development program. And that moves nicely to the fifth step, which is now really continuously engaging with a partner to identify this gap, to identify the level of support that we need to give, and then begin to negotiate the types of engagement that we would need to have with a partner to build up its capacity before we even begin to do the intervention we are recruiting the private sector partner for. So these are my ideas of what I think we should be doing in will and skill framework, the skill element of the will and skill framework. What's your thought? Are these steps enough, or do you have other things that you consider when you're doing the will and skill? Do you consider it a process or just a tick box exercise? Please leave your comment and opinion in the comment section below, and see you next time. Bye-bye.